My name is Brian from Ridgeback Productions, and today we're going to be talking about Adobe Audition and how to speed up your workflow when you're editing. I got five tips I'm going to be giving you that are going to help speed it up. Some keyboard shortcuts that you can use as a beginner that's going to possibly cut your editing time maybe in half once you get pretty proficient at it. They're very useful, and as a beginner, you can totally do this. So, Adobe Audition, 5 tips, and I even got a little secret one at the end. So, let's jump right into it. Let's go. Okay, so we're going to slide into Adobe Audition right here and have a look. So what I have in front of us is an audio file with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I made some errors. Let's go ahead and listen to it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excellent. Okay, so as we listen to that file, there are some errors and a few things in here. So if you look, I have these lines. These lines are called markers, and Adobe Audition allows you to put these markers in live while you're recording. And it's helpful because as you make an error and you know that you're going to redo that line, there's a keyboard shortcut you can hit to add that marker as you're recording. You don't have to stop. You don't have to redo it. Just hit marker and you're telling yourself later down the line, this is an error, fix it. And you can see that I have 3 markers that I placed in. That's the first shortcut I'm going to teach you, is how to put in a marker. The second one I'm going to teach you is how to jump from the markers. So if we're at the beginning of our audio file, I pledge allegiance. Okay, we're at the beginning, and this is an easy one. It's only 22 seconds, but if it was if it was longer and you wanted to systematically go through all your errors quickly, it's helpful to have a shortcut so you can jump straight to the next error, the first error. Okay, so here's this marker. I'm going to hit my keyboard shortcut and watch how this marker line is going to light up. Boom. See how it went red? Now I'm on this marker. This marker tells me what's after the marker is the correct line. Let's listen. Of the United States. Okay, so of the United States. So now I go before my marker, and the error happened before the marker, and I'm listening for of the United States. That's it right there. So I'd be able to highlight this section, which starts with of the United States. And then when I hit delete or backspace on my keyboard, I'm going to delete that section of the United States and it's all fixed. Okay. So you can see that error was fixed. Then you can, once you fix it, well, I'll keep it deleted. You can go to your next error. But then I can see that I have another marker, which tells me I probably made that mistake again. If this was for which it, then what's this error? Aha, so I made 2 errors in a row. And those markers are just telling me that. So I'm looking for which it. All right, so then I go back, there it is. So I can highlight all this error that starts with for which it. And if I delete, I have the correct line. For which it stands. Okay, then what? Ooh, listen to that. Stands. All right, so we have marker, jumping next, and previous markers, which is the first tip. The second and third tip is going next marker or previous marker if you have to go back. And this was the fourth one right here. Listen to this. What? That's called a slash breath. As you're reading, you subconsciously, you don't realize it as you're a beginner, and you take a slash breath, a quick breath to get a breath in as you're reading. You don't want those in. They stand out. It doesn't sound very natural. Well, you could just delete it, Or you can minimize that sound to make it sound a little bit more natural, because we do take breaths in real life. We're humans, we do breathe. You don't want to take out all your breathing. You certainly don't want to insert silence, because that sounds really weird. I suppose you could find room tone and copy it and paste it onto your breaths. Or with my shortcut, it's going to be a shortcut to just take off 15 decimals of volume, which is going to decrease the breath so it's not as loud. So first shortcut is going to be how to leave a marker. Second and third is to skip to the next marker or the previous marker. The fourth shortcut is going to be how to reduce your breaths. And the fifth one is going to be normalize. Once you have everything all fixed, you want to normalize to -3. Bam, there's -3. And then your file should technically be done. Okay, so here's what it looks like. Let's go through them systematically. Now, out of my 5, 2 of those you need to pre-set up as a favorite. It's not very difficult. So here's how you do it. You're going to go up to favorite right here. Click favorite. And you're going to just start recording a favorite. The first one that we're going to do is let's do the volume adjustment, which is taking off 15 decimals of volume. Okay, so we're going to click start recording favorite. Now, you're telling Adobe Audition, whatever I do next, record this and save it as a favorite for next time. It could be one thing. It could be a list of 15 things. It doesn't matter. It's going to record them all so that you click it once and it does all those things at one time. But for this one, we want to take off 15 decimals of volume. So what we're going to do is find the section that you want to reduce, which is my slash breath right here. Okay. I have it selected. Now I'm going to go up to effects, amplitude and compression, amplify, and I'm going to tell this box right here in this window that pops up, -15. Whatever number it's on, put -15. And then click away. Cool. So now you're telling Adobe Audition, I want to take 15 decimals of volume off. So let's move this window a little so you can see what's going to happen. You're going to see this slash breath being reduced 15 decimals down to there, which is going to make it sound a little more natural. Now, if for some reason you wanted to do it again, you could do it again, but 15 is a nice fair number. And that's all you got to do. So we're going to go up to favorites, stop recording favorite. It's going to ask us to name it. Let's just name it volume -15. Perfect. And then you can click OK. And so what that does is it puts that command as a favorite in this section right here. So if I click favorites, I can see a long list of all my favorites. And right here at the top is my new favorite that I just created. Excellent. So that's the first one that we're going to do, and then we'll do a keyboard shortcut for that volume. The next one that we're going to do is we need to record another favorite. So let's go up to favorite and scroll down to the bottom where it says start recording a favorite, and we're going to start recording the favorite. And for this one, we're going to set this one to normalize at -3. All right, so let's go up to effects. We're going to go into amplitude and compression again. This time we're going to go to normalize to pull up the normalize box. And it doesn't matter what it's set to. I want you to click on dB. And for dB, type in -3. You're telling Adobe Audition, whatever this audio file is, normalize all of it to -3. If you're not familiar with what normalize is, but essentially it takes your audio file and it takes the loudest peak of your audio file and it turns the entire file up to -3 decimals. Okay, so then you click -3, so decibels, -3. apply, and you're going to see my whole wave file is going to go up to this point right here on -3. Bam. All right, perfect. Now, once we're done, favorites, stop recording favorite. It's going to ask us to name it. You can call it Normalize -3 and click OK. Again, this is going to save it as a favorite. So that is one option is you can just go up to favorites and select all these things, but I like the keyboard shortcuts. So let's get into our 5 keyboard shortcuts that we want to create. Ready? Here's the part you've been waiting for. Here we go. You're going to go up to Edit on a PC, Keyboard Shortcuts. Click that. Okay, so here's your keyboard shortcuts. And you can see my keyboard has all these things designated. There's like default layout. So here's the default layout that this is what you're probably seeing. Okay, but you can create your own keyboard layout. I have one for Avid. I got one for Brian Voice Work. I got one all kinds. Okay, so here's default. Here's what you're going to do. Super, super easy. Under shortcuts, right here, I want you to scroll down to transport. Transport is basically what they call the commands for play, pause, stop, fast forward, stuff like that. Okay, hit that little caret, the little arrow next to transport. You'll get a drop down. Now here's all the different things that you can adjust. And I want you to scroll down to where it says, well, you don't need to make a shortcut for this one, but I want you to notice it. Move playhead to the beginning. When you want to start your playhead at the beginning of your file, I have it on here. You can just hit home on your keyboard and it takes it to the beginning. If you want to go to the end of your file to delete empty space or whatever you want to do, you can click end. So home goes to the beginning, end goes to the end. All right, but what we're looking for is you want to go to, where is it? Here's one of them. Move playhead to next marker. So what that is once you're at the beginning of your file and you want to skip to the first error in your file like you saw me doing, you want to have one keystroke that's going to do that. You pick whatever keystrokes you want to use. I like to use A and S. Why? Because I have one hand on my mouse, the other hand, I have my left hand, and I use my middle finger for the A, my index finger for the S, and my thumb for the spacebar. Spacebar is to start and stop as you're editing so that you don't have to click on buttons. Spacebar starts and stops. Super important. So because my hand's already there, what other buttons can I put in that range of the space bar, the A, the S? I use all these buttons located for my left hand. So my right hand's on my mouse, left hand is over here. Once you get comfortable with it, you can get pretty quick. All right, so what we're going to do is move playhead to next marker. There's already a shortcut for Control-Alt-Right, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to click next to that. See how it made a little box right here? Now when I type in this box right here, when it's blue, whatever I type, it's going to record. I'm going to make this S. So you can see S. It says the shortcut S is already used by another command, toggle shopping or snapping. I don't know, whatever. Don't worry about that. Get rid of it. You're going to use S for moving your playhead to the next marker. Perfect. Okay. The next one is you want to move the playhead to the previous. So now we're going to click in this, not on Alt left, click next to it, like right here. And it's going to make a blue box. There's my blue box. So A is to move the playhead to the right. S is to move the playhead to the right. A is going to move the playhead to the left, which is to go backwards, just in case you need to go backwards. Believe it or not, you kind of do. So with my blue box highlighted, I'm going to click A, and it's going to put it right here, and it's telling me now, move playhead back, or previous, move playhead next. All right, perfect. That's 2. 1, 2. A big one is the markers. When you want to leave a marker as you make an error, They already have one that is M. Now, if you like M and that works for you, just click M. M for marker, perfect. For me, I like to add an additional one because when I'm recording, I don't like to look down and look at a small key to find it, although I guess it's not that hard to find. I like to go to a bigger key, which is the 0 right here on my number pad. If you don't have a number pad, well, then I guess you can just use the M, but I like that. So to add that marker shortcut on the 0, I'm just going to go up to Shortcuts, Edit, scroll down to where it says Add Marker Q. Did I pass it? No, Add Q Marker right here. Add Q Marker. So there's already a list of shortcuts. I'm going to just find an available spot, make a new blue box, and then I'm literally just on my keyboard going to push the 0 button on the number pad. And now my 0 number pad is my marker. So we have next marker, previous marker, add marker. The fourth one we're going to add is we're going to add in the normalize. So you want to normalize to -3. So now you can just scroll up to the top, go to edit right here, click this down arrow to make it smaller. And this time we're going to go to favorites. Remember we made 2 favorites? Click the down favorites. And the normalized one we called normalize -3. So I'm going to scroll down alphabetically to normalize. I have a couple of them already. Normalize -3. Click normalize -3. I'm going to make a shortcut for it. And for me, I like the keyboard shortcut N. N as in normalize. So I'm going to make my little blue box for shortcut. Click N, and now that saves it to normalize -3. Perfect. So now we have next marker, previous marker, add a marker, normalize to -3, and the fifth one that we're going to add in is we're going to add in the volume for the slash breaths. All right? So for that one, remember that's still in favorites, and we called it volume -3, I believe. So I scroll alphabetically down, -3, volume -15. So we're taking 15 decimals off. So volume -15, there it is. Here's my shortcut. I'm going to click in this column right here where there's nothing. Make a blue box. And because I want to assign a keyboard shortcut to it, I like to use, and you can use whatever letter you like. I like to use V for Victor. I like to use Victor. So I'm going to use Victor for volume -15. Oh, duh. That's why I did it. V for volume. Sorry, it's been one of those days. So V for volume because I want to minimize the volume. All right, so we have all 5. Add a marker, next marker, previous marker, volume, -15, and to normalize to -3. And the last one, while we're in here, let's add it because it's pretty dynamite. When I go to save, I get frustrated having to go file, save as, blah, blah, blah. There are shortcuts for that, but there is a feature on Audition called export. And if you export, it will remember the settings that you previously used. Now, with save as, it always defaults back to wave, blah, 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 blah. With export, whatever you exported out as the previous one, the next time you do it, it'll remain the same. So I have a shortcut, and that's a little pro tip. I have a shortcut for export. So let's set export as a keyboard shortcut. So we're going to scroll up to the top, and I'm going to show you a trick. If you know what you're looking for and you don't know where it is within the shortcuts, you can go right up here to the search bar and just type in what you want. And we're looking for export, and there's a couple options. I'm telling you that the one we're looking for, it's under File Export. So File Export, and you want to export the entire file. They already have a keyboard shortcut of Control-Shift-E. That's fine if you want to use that. I like it to be easier, so I'm going to make a new one. I'm going to click in a blank spot, add a blue box, and I'm going to put E. It's telling us that it's already in use for marquee selection. I don't use marquee selection in my editing. I don't care if I have a shortcut for it. I use E for export. Nice. So we have all 5 plus the pro tip for the export your file, and I'm going to click OK. And that saves it all. So here's my file, our Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to click the home button to go to the very beginning of my file. Remember, if this is my playhead right here and I want to go to the very beginning, I'm going to hit the home button on the keyboard. I'm at the beginning. Now I can listen and I can make some edits. I pledge allegiance to the flag. But rather than going through and listening to the whole thing, I know that my markers indicate the errors. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go at the very beginning. I'm going to click S to go to the next marker. And I'm going to find my mistake. My mistake is of the United States. So I'm looking for of the United States. So where's of the United States? I think it's right here. Of the United. That's it. So I go here, highlight the section I'm going to delete. I can hit the space bar to play it, make sure that it starts with of the United States. Of the United. And I'm going to hit space bar or delete, and that is going to clean it up. Bam. Of the United States. Okay. Hit S on my keyboard to go to the next marker, for which it. Okay, then I must have made a mistake again because I have 2 markers for which it stands. So now I'm listening for which it stands. I think it's probably right. For which it hit. Sure is. For which it hit. Okay. So for which it stands, I'm going to highlight all this, go up to where I got it done correctly, because I know it's done correctly because it's after my last marker. I can hit spacebar to check it. For which it hit. This is it. Backspace, and now it should be here. For which it stands, 180. Ooh, there's my slash breath. I heard my slash breath. Let's say you missed it. You could always go back and clean it up. So do I have any other markers? I don't. So this sounds pretty good. It visually looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in N on the keyboard, and that is going to normalize it to -3, which it's actually already at -3. Let's say it wasn't. Let's say it was here because it was within your 12 to -9 range. If you type in N, it was already here because we were setting up our favorites. If you type in N, it's going to normalize to -3. It's going to take it to this spot right here. Bam, there you go. Now, if you play your file, you can edit out any errors. I'll start from the beginning. If there's empty space, I can delete it. If there's breaths, I can hit V as in Victor for volume and fix those. Let's go through it and see how my Pledge of Allegiance sounds. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic. Okay, so you could clean that up a little bit, highlight it, and just delete it. And to the Republic for which it stands, one nation. See, I already minimized that slash breath, but I'm thinking I could just delete it to clean it up even more. How's that sound? Which it stands, one nation, under God. Okay, that should be cleaned up. I don't need that big of a space. For which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Okay, same thing here. I could tighten up this gap. I don't need it to be so spaced out. See how that sounds? One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I like it. That is awesome. So if we go back to the home, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could even tighten that up because I'm a little bit particular about my editing. For all. Nice. All right. So this was Adobe Audition and setting shortcuts of putting a marker, your next marker, your previous marker, volume adjust for slash breaths, and normalizing to -3. You really can get pretty proficient with Adobe Audition in your editing, and it shouldn't take you a terrible amount of time. With some shortcuts like this, you can really speed it up, get more proficient, and probably make a little bit more money because you're not spending as much money editing. I hope you got some value out of this. If you have any questions, if there's anything you'd like to see in Adobe Audition, please leave those comments below, or you can email me. That's in the link below. I'd be happy to help you out. I love working with it. I got lots of talents that I'm bringing forth. We're growing their business and generating their income. If you want to work with me, feel free to click on the link below and do me a favor. My goodness, my golly, can you please like and subscribe to the channel? It tells YouTube that you like it and you see value in this, and it'll help expose it to more people out there that could really use this help. I hope you got what you came for, and I will see you next time.